Welcome, Swoober friends, to yet another Moisture Farm podcast, where we're experts at keeping things lush and well hydrated, moist, even. In today's episode, we are going to continue our exploration of the Legends of the Force reveals because the whole set is out. We are going to talk about a new game format that FFG released, yesterday, something like that, called Trilogy. Honestly, that name is uninspired now that I'm thinking about it. And, how we're doing, what the week's been like, all the good stuff that you're used to from your friendly neighborhood morons. But first, are you tired of getting shot in the face by stormtroopers who can't aim anyway? Introducing Chien Flurry, the Jedi combat technique that screams, "This is a defensive form!" while dismembering 4 people per second. What is it? A delightful little burst of blade-based ballet. Dear God, alliteration is killing me. Where your Jedi hero gracefully pirouettes through an entire battalion, leaving behind a trail of severed limbs, existential dread, and at least one guy who really regrets signing up for the Empire's dental plan. It includes an extra attack because mercy is for Padawans, the elegance of the Force, the chaos of an unhinged blender. Complimentary burial for every enemy unit destroyed, terms and conditions apply. Side effects may include screaming stormtroopers, burnt armor, smug Jedi, irreparable trauma, questioning your allegiance to the light side. Chien Flurry, when diplomacy fails and failing is fun. Soon to be available in Star Wars Unlimited. May the corpse piles be ever in your favor. Arguably the best form card released for LOF.
100%.
With the green one being second place and the others being 8th place.
The others being they'll never see play, at least not in a premiere format.
So when you play that card, do you get many cheap swimsuits sent to you as well? Just
Women
that
throw
also a
themselves at
thing?
your feet too, and money rains from the sky. It's like a
Perfect.
90s burger
Perfect.
commercial.
Oh, those were the days. Man, they were so big.
Those Carl's Jr.'s. If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face.
I remember the first time I picked up a $6 burger. Dude, it was like the size of my face. It was insane. I was like, America is amazing. And then
Now a
it's just gotten worse.
$6 burger is the basic ass
Yeah,
cheeseburger
the $6
because
burger's
fucking
$8.99.
inflation.
Do you guys remember 5 for $5 at Arby's when we were growing up?
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Sandwiches for $5. My dad fed the family on $10.
I remember quarter cheeseburgers at McDonald's and Burgerville. Burgerville quarter cheeseburgers.
Remember when everybody had a 99-cent menu? It's like
Fair
a
enough.
Pepperidge
$10
Farm
menu now.
remembers. Yeah.
Fuck, we're old and this timeline sucks.
It
Yes, to both of those things.
Who wants to go first with the how is your week going?
Oh, me.
PJ,
Go, go, go.
Uh,
do you
My
oil
week is-
your dome?
huh?
Do you
Do I?
oil?
Yes,
You
I
should.
do.
Fucking glistens. I want to lick it. Just
Yeah, I use a
Salty.
it's a Viking. It's called Viking brand. I get it on Amazon like everybody else. And it's cedar and something else. It's awesome. It smells great. Feels good. Um, I like it. I'm doing all right. I'm still dealing with knee issues. I have a trainee at work who is being as helpful as he possibly can be, and I don't want to have a trainee because having a trainee while you're experiencing agonizing chronic pain is very uncomfortable. But not just for you, but for the trainee also, because humans that aren't psychopaths care about other humans. Awkward. The caring about other humans part, I mean. But
We don't care
I'm
about you. It's
I'm
okay.
doing just fine. I did go play Marvel Champions on Monday. Oh my God. They the store worked with one of the players, the local players, to put together these custom box sets called Adventures in Babysitting. And it's even got a little comic that they printed out. And just, I remember I was sick at the time, or not sick, I was just, I didn't feel well. I wasn't really sick. I just didn't feel good. And somebody had asked me, "Hey, do you want to order one of these box sets? It's like $40." And I was like, ask me later. Well, I missed the window. Now I've finally gotten to see what these are, and I have regrets. I have serious regrets. I wish I had bought one of these because the presentation is beautiful. You get a little Jeff the Shark 3D printed first player token that is also a part of the game. Um, it's a custom supplement. The first villain was Modoc, and the whole theme was Gwenpool brings home a pet, a stray pet, and it's a little tiny land shark named Jeff. And she promises that she's going to do everything that she possibly can to take responsibility for little baby Jeff. And, and so the scenario plays out really well in the spirit of that comic, and I just had immense fun. It's probably the highlight of my week, and we defeated Modoc quite soundly. I played Cable because Cable's a boss. Cable's a boss. He has the unique ability to, at the beginning of the game, after your setup, or it's in the setup, so after your mulligan, so you have a full hand of cards, you go search your deck for a player side scheme and put it in play for free. And that is just value in that game, being able to just have, boom, if we defeat this round one, we all get free shit. And usually we do. And I love Cable for that. Anyway, that was my gaming experience. Uh, my family seems to be doing well. My nephew is with his grandparents for the week, and school's out, so we're finding out just how diverse my son's vocabulary really is.
Fantastic. Cannot wait to experience it in person.
Amazing. Super fun.
Robert?
I'll go next. We'll go in order of severity, I suppose. My dog went into heart failure this week. Where is she?
There's our river dog.
There's
Hello,
a river
dog.
girl. Oh, she's so pretty.
She is a gorgeous princess, and she
I
knows it.
can tell she lost weight.
Um,
Bro.
this is the first dog I have raised from a puppy. I've had dogs for the past 25 years. This is the first one I've raised from a puppy. She is exactly what I said I wanted in a dog at the time. I don't know that I don't want it in a dog, but beware of what you ask for. If you've heard the phrase Velcro dog, that absolutely applies to Weimaraners and Vizslas and some other dogs. They're specifically bred to just be there for you all the time. And she is 8.5 years old. And that is a pretty common time to develop heart disease if you're going to get it. She has 2 forms of heart disease, and she is dying. She's dying. She will be fine until she is not, and my wife and I are trying to navigate when is a good time to say goodbye. Last week my wife had a health emergency that sent her to the hospital in the middle of the night. I found out my plan for gaining my hours to complete my licensure as a social worker is not going to work. And so I'm having to develop a new plan for that. After investing, like $600 into starting my own business, it's not going to work. Because the state of California forbids an associate from receiving direct payment from clients.
That's what that means?
Yeah, that's what that means. That's what that means. So because I'm not licensed, I can't run my own business, even though I'm doing all the other things I need to do in order to make sure that I am providing appropriate care, malpractice insurance, paying for supervision on my own, et cetera, because the supervision agreement specifically says my supervisee will not receive payment or remuneration directly from their clients. It must be through an employer. And that the supervisee will not have any stake or ownership in the business, which means it says that I cannot run a business. So I'm looking at alternatives for how to get that done. But all this stuff keeps getting on my plate. My dog needs medication multiple times a day. I'm monitoring her and her respirations multiple times a day. She's sleeping with us. I don't like it when the dogs sleep with us. They take up too much room in the bed and they're too hot. But I would lose my shit if I locked her up in her kennel overnight and I woke up the next morning. So my dog is sleeping in the bed with me for the foreseeable future.
She is not complaining about that.
No, she's not complaining. This dog is a princess dog, Glad.
Wait, you mean I could be closer to you and sleep at the same time?
Yeah. For our viewing audience who accompanies 0 people, this dog, if my wife and I are sitting on the couch, and let's say there's no room, let's say there's 3 people on the couch, and there's no more room on the couch, that's fine. She'll fit. Just ask her. Directly in between my wife and I. Or let's say my wife and I are sitting on opposite ends of the couch. Oh, that's no problem either. I'll lay in the middle, put my head on one person's lap, and put my hind paws on the other person, just to make sure that we're all touching. All touching. Oh, you moved? Oh, let me follow you. Where are you going? Oh, you just went to the bathroom? That's okay. Oh, we're going back now? Okay. Like, you both have met her. You both have spent significant time with her. I am the sun in her solar system, and she orbits around me. And therefore, I have a deep responsibility to ensure that her quality of life does not decline to a significant degree.
I have a dog that's very like that, except mine is 10 pounds and much easier to handle when she wants to be up on your lap and up in your shit because she's 10 pounds and not
70?
however. Yeah,
River is 70 pounds.
yeah.
Well, she's like 63 right now, which is, she should be 70. She should be 70. I think it's your turn, buddy.
Right. So I have also managed to have a fun health issue. I'm not going to go into it here because we don't know what's going on yet. We will give an update when we do, but it has been a super fun couple days. Father's Day was a unique experience for this particular father. I did get to go not play some games on Saturday. Our new Escalation League for 40K kicked off at my local shop this week. So I was there to help facilitate. We had a pretty good show up, whatever. Words hard. So I helped facilitate because we currently only have 2 tables that are able to be run, and we had 6 players show up. So I helped 4 players get started, but it was super fun to see people with some new armies and some new models show up. Yeah, otherwise work has been work, and super duper exciting about that, although I have had to take a couple days off due to said health issue. Yeah, we're all super stressed about all the things. We're all having some fairly significant problems, so we kind of want to lose ourselves in some cards and meaningless shit, like complaining about art and complaining about
Hey,
formats.
hey, what does General Thrawn say about art? What does Grand Thrawn say about art, motherfucker?
It can tell a lot about a culture, which
we go.
means that some of this art can tell a whole fucking lot about the SWU
Who's the
culture.
big?
So,
Who's the boy?
yeah.
Where did we leave off?
I think
Starting with red.
yeah, we were at red.
Yep.
So
Did we want to talk about trilogy before we hopped into that? And did we want to look at some of the two showcases that were revealed? That's a,
yes, I agree.
we'll call it a gentle hint.
Let's
All
do
right,
it.
start. Go ahead and start talking about trilogy while I try and find that.
Okay.
Mom, I
Uh,
said hi.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
So the
And Dennis.
trilogy format. Uh, there is a new format in Star Wars Unlimited. Uh, it is the trilogy format. What is the trilogy format?
Don't know.
Well,
Tell me about it.
the concept of the trilogy format is that you bring to the table, you and your opponent bring three different decks. The same structure as it's the same structure as the premier format. Each deck consists of exactly one leader, exactly one base, and a minimum of 50 cards in the draw deck itself. Trilogy format restricts you to a maximum of 3 copies of any given card across all 3 decks. So that's very interesting as just as a balancing meta point. That's there's a lot baked into just that. That is a fine quality to this format. I'm just going to throw that out there. Each deck has to have a different leader and a different base. That seems obvious. But there is a twist. Before you engage a game of trilogy, you have to go through the ban phase. And the ban phase is quite interesting from a gaming point of view. I've seen this mechanic in other games, but it's quite rare. In the ban phase, each player presents their 3 leader base pairings to their opponent, and their opponent secretly chooses one of those decks to ban from the match. The two of you then simultaneously reveal your choices, and the chosen decks are set aside and are unavailable for the rest of the match. After that, each player secretly chooses one of their 2 remaining decks to begin the match with. These are then also revealed simultaneously, and each player uses the chosen deck for game 1. Whenever a game in the trilogy format is finished, the winning deck for the game is set aside and can no longer be used for that match. Since this is a best of 3 format, this means that you will need to win with both of your unbanned decks in order to claim the match. If you lose the first game, you can choose which of your 2 available decks to use for the second game. But once you've won a game, you'll have to use the other deck until you win again. That's a lot of word salad. So not only does this format test your deck building skills, but it also tests your ability to pilot each of the decks you built, adding new strategic layers to every match. Um, I love the concept of the ban phase right out the gate because I just I want there are leaders that when I see them on the table, I want to cry, and not because I'm concerned about the game I'm about to have, but they're just so unpleasant to play against. I'm looking at you, Sabine.
Looking at you, Vader Green.
Yeah. So heretofore, if I see Sabine in a trilogy format, she's off the table. Like you're gonna have to be some other kind of terror, not Sabine, in order for me not to ban Sabine from the jump. I'm 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 exaggerating quite a bit. Sabine is not an insurmountable hill, but it is an annoying deck to play against, and not just because of Sabine, but some other things that we'll get into later in the podcast. Those are my
So
initial thoughts.
I have two thoughts on this format. One good, one bad. Uh, so we're talking about leaders that you hate. It makes me kind of want to build 3 decks, one of which is going to be the bait deck, knowing that you're going to ban Sabine and everybody's going to ban Sabine, and know that that's just the deck that I'm never going to play, and really put my heart and soul into the other 2 decks. So I think that that is an interesting design imperative that a lot of people could make by doing that. The other format or the other point that I want to make is kind of an old man yelling at the sky kind of situation where um, Yeah, you want me to buy how many cards and I have to have how many different cards to play this game? I don't want to do that. That seems like a lot. Now, a lot of people who have a complete collection will say, yeah, whatever, I can run a green yellow and a red blue and then a third deck that has a completely different flavor, and that's fine. But it does advantage the people that have a complete collection over people with smaller collections.
Yes, I see that, but I would also like to point out that having the biggest collection in the world doesn't necessarily help you because, well, it does and it doesn't, right? Like, I'm only getting 3 overwhelming barrages total. I'm not getting 9. On the other hand, I still need to be able to fill those card slots with something worthwhile. My knee jerk, which I haven't gotten past, is this seems like an overly complicated way to play this game. An overly complicated and overly long way to play this game. Because this isn't going to replace Premier format. It's a completely different flavor from Twin Suns. It's not sealed. And so what is the need that this is fulfilling? And I don't
What's the
know.
point?
Yeah, what's the point? And that's
I'll speak to that. And I should say ignorantly. I'll speak to that ignorantly because I'm just trying to imagine an answer to the question. And um, so, what does this format achieve? This format, well, it encourages players to dance outside of their comfort zones because they're not going to get 9 copies of Overwhelming Barrage. Um, they're not going to get 9 copies of anything that people love seeing on the table. Waylay, Sanctioner Shuttle, um, every yellow card. Um, but also, this gives players something to do with their collections if they have big collections. Uh, One of my gripes about the long-term collection of the game is that every booster pack has a leader, and you're just going to end up with 1,000 leaders that do nothing. You
bases
just
are
have,
worse.
huh?
Bases are worse. My bases, the number of bases I have far exceeds the number of leaders I have.
At
Right.
least the bases are good for tokens
Yes,
because they
to a
have
point.
tokens on the back.
To a point. Uh, yeah. So this game gets to excess very very quickly, and I don't like that feeling. And I don't know if they can fix it, but I hope they do. Um, in some way, either limit. Well, I don't even know. I don't even know. Limit bases and leaders and packs, but I'm not sure if that's a smart thing, especially
So,
if you're drafting.
PJ, I
Yeah.
have a suggestion for you.
What's that?
What about we go with the L5R style? Let's make them boxes again. You sell starters that have leaders. That's how you get a leader. That's how you get a base. And then the boosters don't have leaders or bases in them, except for rare bases.
So you put all the leaders of a set in a starter box?
Yep. You make a if you want to still have 2 or 3 of a color, you make a red starter box, a blue starter box, or even just and let's say you only have 2 and one's a rare. So you have the common leader and then you have the rare leader. The rare leader comes in a rare slot and you get the common through buying the starter deck.
I like that. Um, yeah, I think those are both excellent suggestions, and I can imagine that being better than what it is now. And I thought about making 3D bases and 3D leaders with the extra cardstock, but that's time and effort. I have the tools. I'm actually prepped to do it. I even had some people donate a bunch of cardstock, a bunch of bases that I can start working on. And I wouldn't do anything other than the generic bases, the 30 hit point bases. But yeah, that's something I've been thinking about doing. Also, just as a it'd be a fun pay it forward prize to throw in the raffle at our weeklies, something like that. So we'll see. So back to the trilogy format, I can see this format encouraging people to try new things, and I love that because a stale meta isn't just a lack of variety. It's that it's the consistency of seeing the same thing over and over and over again. Like it's more than just a lack of variety. It's cumbersome after a time, um, at least from the competitive end, it seems. I do get tired of seeing certain combos over and over and over again. But that's the nature of a collectible card game.
So something you said really kind of made me think, and I like it. I think that the variety that this can give is huge. I just don't think that people are going to care because why would I play Trilogy when I can just play Premiere? Because that's what people are going to be playing. That's what everybody's playing.
That's what
Um,
events are.
I do think that if they had started out saying that this is what Premiere is, I think that this would have been a very interesting way to run a Premiere. Like you come, you have these options, and then you get to ban. I think I've seen something like that before in a card game. Don't quote me on that, but I think it would be very interesting for this to be the actual Premiere format where you have the ability to ban a leader. Like I know that I'm not going to be good against Sabine, so I sit down against three. I see Sabine, I just say no, and then I play the other two, even if I know that the win rate against one of those others would isn't as good. I think it's a very interesting choice.
If they changed the premiere format to this, that would be cool because it's already a best 2 out of 3, right? Like we already have that. I like the ban mechanic. It is pretty common in many competitive video games, mostly MOBA style video games, and it adds a layer of it adds an extra psychological layer of gamemanship that I am absolutely on board with and I am fine with. Like I get rid of this thing that I know I struggle with for whatever reason. Cool, great. But now my opponent gets to do the same thing. So I like that. And if they had said this is what we're changing Premiere to, I would have very different feelings about it. But that's not what's happening. This is just a brand new game mode, and planetary qualifiers and galactic championships are all Premiere as we know it. I feel
The
like this is thrown in there and it's going to get abandoned and not get much hit from the player base.
I think it. I agree with that, with everything you just said. But to speak to the last point, it depends on how they run events. If they offer trilogy format events at um, large venues like big PQs and worlds, then it'll get attention, especially if they offer any kind of like incentive price structure behind it.
You
Well,
have
sure,
to at
but they
large
have to
events to get people interested.
structure it in a way that you're not forced into one or the other. I can either play in the PQ and increase my ranking, or I play trilogy. If you do it that way, then it's dead in the water.
I think I disagree, and the reason why is because the the not everybody like everybody may join. Like there's a reason why the ticket for the main event is separate from all of the side event tickets. It's because not everybody wants to participate in the main event. So there's already a demographic of players that just won't participate in anything other than alternate formats. And I think what they're attempting to do ultimately is just expand more options to cover um, more of people's interests. And I agree that from the jump, I don't think this is going to be as popular as Twin Suns and or Premiere. But I agree with all the other points that you made, the about the ban phase and the limit of three, the rule of three across all three decks. That's fantastic.
The rule of 3. That's what we're calling it. The rule of 3.
The rule of three. Damn it. Damn it.
I am going to argue your point on that's why the event ticket and the con badge, for lack of a better term, are separate. That's just how everything is run. That is how every event ever is run that's large.
I didn't say
Like,
con badge.
well, it's entry into the event, and then it's entry into that particular format.
Okay, but
So you do need entry into the event. That's the con badge, potato, potato.
right, which you were gonna pay a con badge regardless. But if you want, so okay, Vegas, for example, if you were decided you were gonna go to Vegas, you would have to buy a badge for the weekend and then purchase your event tickets. You
Right.
would,
And they
and
have it formatted like that more for I want to come with my spouse because they're playing and I want to be able to get in, um, versus the, oh, I'm playing this other format. And I just know because I've attended and seen all these other events, and that's just kind of how they are run, is you buy the badge for the weekend and then you buy separately for the event, even if there's only one event,
I don't think
only
I'm
if there's one paid event.
I don't think we have a disagreement about that. Like what I'm saying is that two things can be true at once. Like having the tickets being separate gives people options. Like so when we go to Vegas, there's going to be people who don't participate in the main event because they want to do other things. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like
I
that's
just don't think that those other things are going to be trilogy format
well,
as a primary draw.
okay, okay. Well, again, like I said, it will draw if they give it some meaning, if they give it some prize. Uh, and I was, before we got on tonight, I was reading some of the Facebook comments, um, and I don't know, there, I read at least 20 different responses of people saying this sounds like fun. And I mean, sure, it's a small cohort, but these events, the Worlds event, it's going to be at least 1,000 people,
At least.
at least. And
I do. Sorry,
I
go ahead.
mean, if 50 of them want to play trilogy format, that's a lot of fucking people.
I really hope that they adopt a structure where on day one it is only Premiere, and then day two they start the trilogy or whatever alternate format, so people can play in the Premiere, and then if they have a
If
bad
they're
enough
not
record,
winners.
etc., it's treated as your second chance tournament essentially.
Yeah, well,
So I think that is what they need to really look at doing.
okay, I think, well, so if you go look at the events that you can play in Vegas, that's essentially what all the side events are. They're second chance events at prizes. Yeah, you're not getting champion prizes, like you're not getting a trophy. You're not getting a special playmat, but you are getting access to the event packs, the Pop Tart prize packs with the alt arts, and I think that's what it's about. Also, or no, they have a prize wall, right? So you play in the side events, and then you get tickets to the prize wall or points to the prize wall. I have yet to participate in a prize wall. I'm excited to do it for once.
I hope it
Yeah, you'll have
touches
to
you in
report back.
places that make you happy.
I'm gonna try and find stuff and give them to my best friends that play Star Wars. You guys.
So not us. Got it. Okay.
Who are those motherfuckers? Go shank them.
I gotta go get you guys a pack and bring it home,
Dude, that would be beautiful. Just like you.
just like you.
Are we moving on
Okay,
to the reveals now?
Spoilers?
sure. Trilogy format,
Reveals?
take it or leave it. Might be fun, might not. We don't know anything.
We know nothing. Call us Jon Snows.
Yep.
Oh,
I
spoilers.
need to step away. I hear a monster.
I hear him too. All right, so where were
I
we in red? I think we did the dark side
we
of red.
we did not start red at all. we stopped in the middle of colors.
Oh, I
So
just imagined it.
you did imagine it. So if Robert needs to step away, we'll kind of start, and if we need to come back, we will
I'll
do so.
check the baby monitor here, and nah, she just put him back to bed, and he's fussing about that.
Yay, adulting.
All right, so
Oh,
yeah, okay, we're all looking at the same thing. I'm looking at Acolyte of the Beyond. Good way to generate force card. Decent thing.
on attack and when defeated.
I like the art too. Since we can't not talk about art. I like the art. I think it looks nice. Sort of like
Yeah,
some bog witch looking stuff there, and I'm cool for it.
yeah, I like the shading on this card, and I like the lighting. This card is this art is fantastic.
Yep, I like it.
HK 47.
And I like those designs where you get things for cheaper and have a drawback for getting it for cheaper.
Mm.
2 for 2/4 when an enemy unit is defeated, deal. Oh, it's not a drawback. I misread that. Deal 1 damage to its controller's base. That's great early board control. Sorry, that's just amazing
Great
early
card.
board control.
It's just a different version of HK. The other HKs also do something allow you to ping on folks, and this is just a different type of ping.
It's also a Sith.
Is he
He
a
is
Sith
also a
droid?
Sith.
Interesting.
Hell yeah, dude. That's dope. I
That
like that a lot.
good catch.
How about
Strike ship.
hmm
I think that this is more interesting design where kind of like Bomber from the last set, you have something that is 0 attack, so it's really easy to take out on the swing at you, but it does something when the strike ship attacks. So it's interesting design. I'm not
I
sure if
like
I
it.
like it or not,
I do.
but it is interesting.
I mean, it also seems undercosted. Raid 3 and Overwhelm on a 203. It's got a
Yeah,
bunch of keywords too: Underworld, Vehicle, Fighter, Nile. Okay.
and if you play this out of Inquisitor, it's turn 1 3 in your mouth.
Speaking of the Inquisitor,
Grand Inquisitor,
uh,
3
3
3
yeah.
3 4.
hidden raid 1. Other friendly Inquisitors get hidden.
It's interesting design. I don't think he's going to live long enough for other Inquisitors to have hidden and for it to matter very long.
Probably not.
But interesting design.
He is a Force user, so and he's an Imperial. So both of those keywords matter. Excuse
Uh,
me, both of those traits matter.
Traits. Purge Trooper, cool. Play it and pop a Jedi or a Sith in the mouth.
Yep. Properly statted for a red card with higher attack than health, unlike several of the others that we have seen.
Like Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, like Strike Ship, like HK, like yeah, everything that we've looked at. Yeah. Anyway,
Heavy Missile Gunship is interesting, but I think it's going to run into the problem that Chris mentioned. That's coming out on turn 3. How often is that going to get? How long is that thing going to live to be able to actually use its ability? On the other hand, a lot of Legends of the Force decks are running Space Light. And mine too. I'm running Space Light, so it'd be really interesting to see a good way to combine some of the not Force cards with some of the JTL cards and see what you can get. I haven't even attempted to do it myself.
It's a Separatist unit. It's the only reason I care about it.
Mm, mm.
yeah. I think that the flexibility is nice, but I am really disappointed in essentially sacrificing 2 damage. So instead of swinging to the base for 4, I'm doing 2 to a ground unit, and that feels kind of bad. Although it is just 2 damage to a ground unit without them being able to swing back at you, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, yeah, being able to hit the ground from space is a really neat ability.
Yep. Scythe, Inquisitor support. Inquisitor support. I like it.
Decent
Uh,
stat.
yeah, decent stats. Although again, we have the whole like they said when they were talking about design philosophy that red should have higher attack than health, and we just aren't seeing that consistently. Thralls of the Coven, once again turns on the Grand Inquisitor, which is super fun. Uh, 5 for 3/7 with raid 3, so 5 for 6/7 on the attack is pretty sweet.
This card hits. Oh my god. Ugh.
Yep. Savage. Savage is properly statted, thank God. And this is the drawback for playing it for cheap. So when played, you may use the Force if you don't deal 9 damage to your base. You're only playing him when you have the Force, and then you're hoping you have him with the Force when he dies.
So I have in my testing been on the other side of this card.
Mm-hmm.
And when this card hits play, it's to end the game
Fair.
because he has 9 with Overwhelm. So I've been set up to have 1 hit point left on a ground unit, and then Savage Opress enters play and smacks me for 8
Fair enough.
with ECL. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Sorry, I
definitely out
forgot
of
to
ECL.
mention the ECL target. Also, backtrack to Thralls of the Coven. For that's a 5 for 6/7 on attack. So that's also a beautiful ECL target.
ECL target.
Notice both of these cards are next to each other in the same set.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just amazing. Oh, and they share a trait. They're both of the night.
Let's get dangerous.
If you're playing against Villainy Red and ECL, this is in their deck. Beware.
Yep, yep. Sith Holocron. Eh. I'm not a big fan of the deal damage to my things to do things. I know that it works, and it's just not my jam. Not my
Well,
jam.
this is going to be nasty on some grit units, right?
Yeah, it will be.
Because, okay, attached to a force unit. Oh, I guess it would require the force unit to have grit, so there's that. Attached unit gains on attack, you may deal 2 damage to a friendly unit. If you do, this unit gets +2 for this attack. So, yeah, I
And
can
you're
see
getting
if you're running a grit theme, this has merit. If you get grit on the force unit user, this is insane because you're going to get the +2 plus the damage for being wounded. So it's effective +5.
and if there's many grit units, and I don't think there are a lot of grit units out of red, you're running this on something green,
Mm-hmm.
probably. Green has a lot of grit.
Mm-hmm.
Green and blue? Green and blue. Battle Fury. Uh, Cards are at a premium, and I have a hard time seeing this being super successful. But it may be another like I'm winning the game off of this, and I only need 2 cards to pitch
This
in the
goes in
end.
Kylo Ren.
Or yeah, fair. Kylo Ren is another option for it.
It is cheap. Oh my God, it's cheap, and it's not unique. So some weird world, you can on um on turn 3 deploy Kylo Ren and give him 2 Battle Furies.
Sure, sure. Uh, Darth Maul's lightsaber, overwhelm, can't attack bases. Yeah, I mean it's good ambush tech essentially with giving overwhelm. I'm always a big fan of ambush with overwhelm.
When played, if attached unit is Darth Maul, you may
If
attack
it's
with him. For this attack, he gains Overwhelm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's essentially giving him ambush or dual attack that doesn't exist right now, but you could attack with him and then you could attach this and attack again. So maybe you attack the base to start with and then you want to kill something. So that could be hot. That could be
Uh,
fun.
3 for 4/2, decent. And there are enough Dark Mauls in the game that this will see play. Also, the new Darth Maul leader is actually good, I think.
And the art's nice.
Oh yes, yes it is.
There there are plenty of Darth Mauls because they divided and reproduced by division
Bunch of
like
Maul
that.
babies.
Maul babies.
Deathfield is awesome. I like playing it in my Anakin Tempted by the Dark Side deck.
Any AoE damage like that is super fun.
I
Like
think
it
it's a little
turns out being
high.
really good.
Like I feel it's a little high costed, honestly, but it does.
It
No,
gets
when
you
you're
a
playing against a swarm deck.
it gets you a card.
And it gets you a card. It's pretty great. Addy Gallia is ridiculously good too. 2/2/4 Force Jedi Republic. When an opponent plays an event, deal 1 damage to their base. That's great. That's fantastic. That
It
is
is,
a
and
quintessential
it isn't.
great 2 cost. For a heroism 2 cost red, it's beautiful.
It
I don't.
does definitely change how your opponent's going to play. I don't know if if it's going to do anything, but I like the fact that it changes your opponent's options.
So in my playtest with this unit, um, she is a she is a strong turn one play. More often than not, they kill her before her ability becomes relevant.
Sure, but I'm just
Uh,
speaking as a red card 2/2/4 with
I like
with all the
well,
keywords you want from a Force or a Jedi deck.
100%. And I actually see a future where Adigalia is better once they cycle out the first 3 sets,
Hmm.
because then maybe it won't be so goddamn cumbersome to put lightsabers and upgrades on units.
Yep, fair, fair.
Yeah, like
And
that's the issue. Like when you put her in play, you're like, oh, I'm gonna give her a lightsaber. She's gonna get a general's blade, and she's gonna be a 5/7. Let's go, son. But no, like the the opportunity cost to even play a turn two upgrade, it's very risky.
all right,
And
I'm
Rand.
going to. Yeah, I do want to speed us along a little bit. We are
Uh-huh.
at 50 minutes, and we've gotten through red villainy and one red heroism card, and we have a lot to get through still. So
Okay.
Um, meh meh. Uh, Kai Mundi as a card is fantastic because it gives red draw, which is something red needs. And again, all the keywords you want on a Jedi. Kit Fisto's Aether Sprite is insane. What is that? 5/4/5/4/5 Saboteur Space. When played, defeat any number of upgrades on a unit. Any number. Jedi Republic Vehicle Fighter. All the keywords you want.
more attachment hate, more reason to hate pilots.
Yep.
But also, there's going to be a lot of attachments just with Jedi cards. Like
Yes.
your lightsaber is an attachment.
Your
Like
lightsaber is an upgrade. Shield
fuck your
token.
lightsaber. Yep, shield tokens.
The Kylo Ren, the new Kylo Ren leader, where he's like, "Oh, when I deploy, I take all of these upgrades and put them on myself."
I'd be honestly surprised if at heretofore, if every red heroism didn't run this card in their deck.
Well, they
Probably.
could.
Like this is an auto include, right? At least two.
seems like
because
2
of
is the option.
because its stats, because of its stats, but also because of its when played. Like you're not. So what's better than playing a waylay? Play or a bamboozle, right? I'd rather have a unit and get rid of your stuff. So this is 2 cards in one. It's tremendous value. It's not in yellow, thank God. Because of this, if this effect were in yellow, I think people would riot.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah. I
Very
mean,
much agreed.
we said several times yellow is overtuned. I know we said we wanted to move along, but these next 2 cards, the Ray card is interesting. I don't see it. 5/5/5 is worthless as a red unit. The card ability is interesting. When you draw this card during the action phase, if you control a red leader or base, you may reveal this card from your hand. If you do, deal 2 damage to a unit and 2 damage to a base. And that's neat, but card draw in this game is rare. Even though like that Coyote Moody is right there. It's an interesting idea. I don't know how useful it is.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
And you're never playing her for 5 for 5/5 blank.
No.
Like she exists in your deck to be drawn and then sit in your hand and be used as a resource.
Trilogy format.
She's the same cost as Kit Fisto's Aether Sprite, and she just has 1 more attack power. And Kit Fisto is like, nah, I say this unit loses all its upgrades.
Yeah, but that's a spaceship versus Ray. I mean, come on.
This Mace Windu card is so good. 6,
It's really good.
6, overwhelm. When played, you may use the Force. If you do, deal 4 damage to a unit. And yeah, it looks like Gambit, which makes it even better.
With Overwhelm.
This
With
card
Overwhelm.
with this card with ECL feels so good. I mean, yeah, you have to get the Force and ahead of time with another effect, but I've seen it happen, and oh my God, it sucks. It's so good.
I do like Sin Draleg, but I think he's too expensive to actually see play. I think the ability to play a lightsaber for free and then ready is super cool when he is played, because there's some really cool lightsabers. I just don't think you're going to be playing him as an 8-drop out of red.
He's too expensive.
I just don't see it.
He costs $2 too much.
Yep, 100%.
Lightsaber,
Keep going.
good lightsaber.
Yes, but I will point out it has a restriction that most other lightsabers don't have, which says it has to go to a Jedi, as opposed to just a Force unit or a non-vehicle unit, and it's only 1 dull hair less, and the stats are similar to most other lightsabers. Like for instance, the Fallen lightsaber, which is my favorite lightsaber, 3/3/3 deals 1 damage to all ground units on attack. Okay.
You're playing it because you want a cheap stat stick in a Jedi deck. That's just what you're playing it for. I'm okay with that. I don't think it's bad. I think it's just niche, and that's okay.
You're niche. None of the spaceships, other than Kit Fisto, I didn't think any of the spaceships were super compelling or interesting this time around. Which, I mean, sort of makes sense because JT, they just had a huge space set.
Yep. This set is all about the Jedi, and they are primarily ground units and not fly dudes, even though some are known for flying.
Yep. Anakin.
Yeah.
Jedi in Hiding, I like this card. The fact that it is a neutral aggression card is pretty cool. 3/3/3 hidden. When defeated, use the Force. If you do, each opponent discards a card. I think it's pretty decent.
This card feels good.
More hand hate. Yep.
Absolutely.
Marin is also super interesting. 3/2/5 Force Knight. On attack, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, deal 2 damage to an enemy. And remember, on attack happens before the attack itself plays out. So you could use this to ping a shield or to drop someone to enough health that you can kill them.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not
Super
bad
fun.
for its stats.
And the art's great.
The art is great.
2 reprints in the next row. We know how Chris feels about
Three.
that.
3.
3?
Wampa.
I'm pretty sure this is a reprint. I know this is, and Wampa's a reprint.
The Hunting Nexus is a reprint. The Wampa's a reprint. The Quack-Ada, is that a reprint?
I think so.
Oh,
No, it's not because it's hidden.
yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Never mind.
And the Quinlan Boss and the Asajj are new cards. They're obviously meant to synergize off of each other. Meh. I don't like the art on either of them.
Yeah, it's
They-
unique.
Yeah, they're this is what Evergreen looks like in Star Wars. These are like these reprints are their Evergreen.
Again, I open a pack and get an old card out of it, and they are commons at least. It's not like I'm getting an old rare, but
Right.
like I'm mad because I didn't get a new card when I have a dozen of these already.
I
That's
understand completely.
That's bullshit.
Asajj Ventress, what
Poor
do you think about
design.
her?
She's too expensive. 5/5/6 when played on attack, give another friendly force unit +2/+0. So her ability, her usefulness is restricted, even though she's got a ton of cool keywords, right? Force Knight, Bounty Hunter. Oh, cool. Oh, wait, her ability, her card printed ability, won't help me in a Bounty Hunter deck. That's kind of crappy.
I see what you, yeah, like her traits are counterintuitive.
Yeah. And obviously she's not a Jedi, and obviously she's not a Sith thematically, so Force Knight and even Bounty Hunter makes sense for the character. But it's obviously that she's meant to be played in a certain kind of deck, but her traits don't. You see what I'm saying? I want more cards to be able to be played in a wider variety of decks. And I understand how that is hard, especially in the set where you're introducing a brand new mechanic. I get it, I understand it. But I think for the longevity of the game, having cards that are usable in more places is better.
The game does sacrifice flexibility for theme.
Yes.
It takes theme very, very seriously, and it is willing to sacrifice some of its design options in order to give you the theming.
Yes.
So I do appreciate them sticking by their guns and not just throwing Sith on the Asajj because, well, she's
Not a Sith.
blah blah blah. Yeah, she's not a Sith, so it doesn't go there. So, yeah.
Fair. And I agree with it in principle. As a player, I would like to see a bit more creativity from them. I'd like to have my cake and eat it too, for lack of a better phrase.
Bendu is amazing.
Bendu is amazing. Put Bendu in a red-green deck, and you might actually be able to murder some faces.
Maybe.
I've seen it. I've seen it happen. It works. It's horrible. And it's awesome.
Invasion control ship. Separatist vehicle capital ship. Friendly droid units get raid 2. This is what I was just talking about. Throw this into an old Grievous or an old Dooku deck. There you go.
Costs too much.
Yes, that's the downside, is it costs too much. 759.
If this were a 6, it would see play. But it's a 7, and it won't.
It would be fun to be able to drop on 6 and throw all of your droids forward that you've been building, but nope, that's not going to happen.
And it locks Grievous into red, which he doesn't want to be.
Heavy blaster cannon. Super neat. We haven't seen an effect like this before. Pings 1 instance of damage 3 times sequentially.
So you can break through shield.
Yep.
And it is all to the same unit, which is super interesting.
For
Feels,
full?
yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. It feels a little too expensive, but it's also giving you a stat block of 2/2. And so it's giving you 2/2 plus 3 damage. No, I guess 4 is the right cost because like a grenade strike is 3 damage
I
and
think I
grenade strike
agree.
is 2.
No, 4 is appropriate, and you get a lot of value out of this. You get 3 damage and a 2/2 upgrade. Your opponent is immediately upset.
Yeah.
They're like, shit, I lost my unit and your guy's bigger. I hate that. No, cards like this are going to be very popular moving forward because of their compounding um,
Abilities.
effects and abilities. Yeah,
It goes
they're
good
just.
in the Dark Saxon deck. It goes good in a Mando deck.
Oh God, in a Mando deck, this will be great. I exhaust you, punk you, and then swing.
Sorceress Blast is.
Good.
I think the art is better than the card.
What I enjoy about this card is very specific to Avar
Uh
because
huh.
she's the only leader that can at will turn one, play a 1-drop unit, gain the force, and then blast something for 1.
Yeah, or 3 as the case may be.
Yeah. So it's a solid card. If it might be the only color that Avar is functionable out of, like really. Um, but Sorcerer's Blast, lots of value.
Do you want to talk to us about lightsaber throw?
Discard a lightsaber from your hand, and if you do, deal 4 damage to a ground unit and draw a card. I I played around with this card for a bit, and it's it's not bad. It's just inconsistent. Like you have to run lots of lightsabers essentially. Like so if you're running 3 copies of lightsaber throw, you want to run at minimum 9 lightsabers
Yes.
just to make it worth it. So I see this being in a future lightsaber themed deck. I don't know if it'll be good because there's not enough effects that make lightsabers cheap and accessible, and there's too much upgrade destruction in the environment. But I liked the card when I did get to play it the one time. It felt good, no question.
It seems like a really fun thing to do. It also feels like you have to build around it in order for it to have any value. It's not like Sorceress Blast where you can make it work in a lot of places.
Yep, agreed.
Um, Brings us into yellow, Adept of Anger.
Oh, look at this bitch. She is so good at being angry. Look at her. She's so mad. And she's wearing a lightsaber. That dude's lucky.
Okay.
Just say it. A one for
Whatever you
one
say.
3 action. Use the force. Exhaust a unit. Eh,
I think it's pretty good. It's a 1-drop.
it is a 1-drop.
I think
Is
all 3 yellow cards in this row are really good for their cost.
fair. Fair. Aura Singh, 2 for 1. Oh, dude. This card
Raid
is
2.
wrong.
I
This
think.
card is scary.
And hidden, so she's going to swing at least once.
Yep. Because people are, at least in my playtesting, unless you're running Vader Green, people aren't doing a lot of indirect damage anymore. But a lot of that could just be, I want to play with the new set as opposed to I am looking for ways to competitively and strategically combine all my tools into the nastiest toolbox that I can make.
With Aura Singh and the Strike Ship, Grand Inquisitor has 2 units that are turn 1 swing for 3. 1 in space, 1 on the ground. So good.
I like the design of Deceptive Shade, and I think you can definitely have some shenanigans where he dies and then you play something big and it ambushes with Overwhelm, and you don't need ECL to do that. So I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Fair stats too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think we've talked about Shin and Balin, and we agree that these cards are awesome.
Shin is more likely to get played just because of the cost.
Yes. She's shielded.
Yes. Hidden, shielded, 4/2.
And I think Balin is actually better than you think, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
Um,
you have to make it work. You
yeah,
have to have a good card for yourself that you want to bring back with a nice on plate or ambush ability, or you're tired of some bullshit that they buffed up on their side and you're like, nah, go back to your hand and lose all the stuff you just invested.
right. And I like it because it touches four costs. There, it just seems like most effects like this target three costs or
Three
less,
costs, yeah.
Yeah.
but this hits four, and that's sweet. Plus, ah, such a beautiful scene. The hyperspace foil of this card is going to be awesome.
A Balin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he might even. I can't remember. I cannot remember what their criteria was for showcase, but he might not showcase, but prestige. He might have a prestige version, which would also probably be amazing.
I'll be interested to see with Second Sister if they run into the issue that they ran into with uh, resource readying. Because if you can ready her a couple times or attack a couple times, even though you're discarding cards from your deck, if you're running a lot of force, you can ready lots of resources and play lots of cards. So
Yep.
interested to see how that goes.
All right, moving on. Marchion Row, 6 for 6/7. Each friendly unit's raid is doubled. That is a scary effect.
Sanity. Insanity.
That is scary. Corrupted Saber, 2. This is an upgrade. 2 for +2/+1. Attached to a non-vehicle unit. If attached unit is a force unit, it gains on attack. The defender gets -2 for this attack. This is a solid attachment.
It's my least favorite lightsaber.
It's good though.
It's still my least favorite lightsaber. I like the effects on all the other lightsabers more.
I like the effect of just not taking damage or taking
Not
less
taking,
damage.
yeah, taking less damage is cool. Sort of
I
like the
suppose
Sheathed Strike.
I suppose it's a 2 for 1, right? Because you're getting +1 health, whereas the other lightsabers give you +2 and +3.
And most of them also have an effect on them too.
Right. So then this -2 is a de facto stat bump.
Um, I've actually cut this card from my Anakin deck, and you know my Anakin deck is full of sabers.
Word.
Just because, like, I can play this, or I can play Corrupted Lightsaber, or Fallen Saber. I'm gonna play Fallen Saber. The price difference between 2 and 3 when I'm dropping it in between turns 2 and 4 doesn't really matter. That one extra resource, there's nothing worthwhile that I'm doing with that one extra resource at that point in the game. And if it's lasting into turn 8 or 9, I'm dead anyway.
You're dead anyway.
I'm dead.
All right. As I have foreseen, event 1 cost. Look at the top card of your deck. You may use the force. Lose your force token. If you do, play that card. It costs 4 less.
You drew parallels between this and TDR 5-6 weeks ago when it was first revealed.
Yes, I did. And uh, I cornered myself because I had to admit that, well, I don't understand how prevalent the force token is going to be. But now that I have grinded about 100 games with a VAR, as I have foreseen, is a very good card.
Do you feel like it is appropriately balanced compared to TDR and the shenanigans that they were trying to stop there? I think it is.
I would say it is because it doesn't have the dig effect. The scry effect is only for one card, so that limits your ability to find the thing that you're looking for. Um, Also, this effect is going to be strongest out of leaders or abilities that allow you to know what the top card of your deck is. So, Thrawn 1, this out of Thrawn 1 has some teeth. So that deck hasn't been built yet, but I see a place for this card in that deck, and I think it might catch some people by surprise depending on how they build it, depending on where they go with it. I mean, with some of the newer Sith and some of the newer red cards, um, there might be something formidable there.
Yep.
Liberated by Darkness. We have another event, 5 cost, use the Force. If you do, take control of a non-leader unit at the start of the regroup phase, its owner takes control of it. Great card.
There's never taken control of it because I'm running it into something and killing it or winning the game with this card.
Yep. You're not getting it back. It's mine now.
You're not getting it back. Like, why would I play this card otherwise? It's either dying because I'm running it into something and killing something else, or I'm winning the game.
So you hate this card for 2 reasons. One, there's no restriction to unit type.
None.
And 2, it's in yellow.
I didn't say I hated this card. I like this card.
I'm being funny. This card is amazing, but it's like yellow didn't need this.
Right. Agreed. This should have been another green card or blue card.
Blue.
Like blue. Yeah.
This should have been in blue.
Yep.
The art though, I just love
The
the
art's super
stance,
cool.
like the shading, like yes. Whatever
This
this
will be a
is.
fun one in foil.
Who is that? Who do you think that character is?
My mom.
Okay. I'm gonna bang your mom.
I know. I'm thinking about it myself.
And moving right along.
No, seriously, what character is that? I don't know.
No idea.
I don't know
who
either,
that's
but
supposed
she's
to be.
hardcore.
That Anakin is boring.
Yep, moving right along.
Boring Anakin. Oh, look, a droid.
BD is cool because it's BD. I mean, it's the card will never last long enough for its ability to matter, right? This is something you play knowing it's going to die next turn when hidden turns off.
Disagree, sir.
When played, choose another friendly unit. While this unit is in play, the chosen unit gets +1 and gains Saboteur. I am killing that as soon as I see it. As soon as I can kill that, I'm killing it.
Okay, but you won't, and here's why.
Why?
This card.
You're wrong.
Okay. I'm
Or
gonna
you just
explain to
kill
you-
that friendly unit.
I'm gonna explain to you why you're wrong. Okay. Both of you have valid points that yes, you can play an effect to kill BD, or you can play an effect or swing at the unit that BD is targeting. However, this card wasn't designed to be a turn 1 play.
No, it's like a turn 4 or 5.
Or 6 or 7. This card is designed to help you push through a 7 or 8 drop Sentinel. This is an amazing card for 1. Okay, think of this as an event. Like it's a unit with an event that stacks for the turn. And you can't kill this unit with traditional means. You have to either play an event or your opponent has to sacrifice it. Right? So it's late in the game. It's turn 6. I'm on the ropes and you drop an 8-drop Sentinel. And I'm like, cool, BD1. Can you stop me from swinging with my 7 unit? No, now 8? No. Like, this is a great card. I think just design-wise, this is a great card. It's going to be awesome in Twin Suns because this wants to be played in the late game. It doesn't want to be in the early game. And if it is in the early game, just because it's the only best play you got, okay, it's a 1-for-1-3.
Fair. Fair. You're still wrong.
Okay. N1 Starfighter unit, space
Boring.
unit, 2-for-3-2. It's a Naboo vehicle fighter. Well, yeah, it sucks.
Don't care.
The next card is a banger, Youngling Padawan. We all know the fate of this one. 2-for-2-3. When played, the Force is with you. This is awesome. Period.
We're good.
It's just good. Ugh, good.
Vern Estra Rowe, also super good. So here's, depending on how you play this, you can ambush with her and then use the Force to ready her again. Like, you can Shien strike her in, gain the Force because you've attacked with a unit, and then use the Force to ready her because of the when played stuff. Depending on how you line up your triggers, or at least doing it online, it lets you do that. So that's super cool. Also, she statted nicely, 3/3/4, perfect. She's a perfect turn 2 card.
I agree.
Jedi Sentinel, cool. Qui-Gon's Aether Sprite, not as good as Kit Fisto's. Womp womp. Oh, the Stinger Mantis is from the Jedi Survivor video game, if you guys weren't aware. If you hadn't seen it before.
Yep, I'm playing through the second game now, actually. I was playing it before we started.
It's on my list of things to finish.
They are super fun.
I am losing my mind with Midnight Suns. I'm having so much fun.
That is also super great.
J-type Nubian starship? You just talked about that one?
What?
No, you didn't.
I
Do you like this card? You skipped this, but do you like this effect?
No. Or
I'm never
rather,
a big fan of discarding just because I drew a card.
yeah.
I think if it was a 3-for-3/4, then it would have been playable. But obviously it's not because of the type of ship that it is. Anyway.
Yeah. We were skipping stuff that we weren't super interested in due to time constraints, sir.
I like the art though.
The art's nice.
Yeah,
It'll look
the art
really
is
good
really
in
pretty.
hyperspace foil.
I really like Depa Balaba.
Yes.
Just a
Ambush,
well-statted
Left
Jedi.
Saboteur. Hell yeah.
Yep. That's super good.
I will kill the thing I want to kill.
I think Qui-Gon Jinn's Aether Sprite is interesting. I don't like its stat line. I don't like a 5-for-3/6. I think it should be a 5-for-5/6 personally. On attack, the next time you use a when played ability this phase, you may use that ability again. I just don't see this happening very often.
You'll get one use out of it, maybe. And will you really get that many uses out of it, period? I don't think so. Yeah, I agree with you.
And then Qui-Gon Jinn is a banger. He's a 7-for-7/5. That seems appropriate for yellow heroism. With ambush, and when defeated, you may choose a non-leader ground unit. Its owner puts it on the top or bottom of their deck. That's great. You can eliminate 2 units for 1.
Yep. Do you think he's a little expensive? But
Super expensive, especially for yellow.
Han doesn't care. Han's like, Qui-Gon's my buddy.
But Han doesn't even like Jedi.
He does
he
this
likes
one.
this one.
Mind Trick is interesting. Premonition of Doom is super interesting. I don't know how. I am having difficulty game daying Premonition of Doom in my head in order to make it be useful.
Cool, you play that card, and I take the initiative, and you just wasted 3 resources.
Yeah.
Like, why would I not just immediately claim the initiative? Or maybe that's your point. I don't know. We'll have to see if it actually gets any use.
Can I pause you guys for a second?
Yeah.
So there are still 60 cards on this page to go through.
Yep.
So what do you say we talk about the uh we talk about the showcases, and then we finish the final page on next week's podcast.
That sounds good to me. I have the Barris Ophi showcase up already.
All right, do you want to share?
Yeah. 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 Share screen. Share. There she is. So good. That's beautiful. And we could be having that artwork all the time.
All the time.
But they save it for showcases. I don't know much about this character, but I need to do more research on her. I especially like her tagline, "We have become villains." I know that she was a Jedi during the Clone Wars. I know that she knew Anakin and she knew Obi-Wan. And basically she just was she became disenchanted with the Jedi Order, and that's like my synopsis of what I know about her. And so I find that sort of thing very interesting because I think the Jedi Order at that particular time was very corrupt and very complacent in a lot of the bad shit going on in the galaxy. But I don't mean to start a whole nother fucking topic for us. But no, this card is beautiful. Whether or not the leader is any good is irrelevant. The card itself is gorgeous.
Well, compared to the art in this set itself, it's orders of magnitude better.
It is. It is.
Next.
Agreed.
I think was it Cal Kestis?
I haven't seen either of them, so I don't know which one.
Yeah, I've got it. Hold on a second. Stop. Share. Here it is, and it was Cal Kestis again. Super great. I think the Barris is better, but again,
Yeah, his face is a little.
Yeah. But we can tell it's the actor who played him in the video games, whose name I don't know, so I apologize to you, sir, who is not watching our podcast. But these games are great. You should absolutely play these games. Yeah.
Mom's not going to play these games.
Nah. So yeah, I mean, that's the other one. But it does show you the difference just, I mean, even in showcases that some are much better than others. But no, like showcases are neat and showcases are interesting, but we've already talked about how sometimes they're not, or the oversaturation of things and card varieties and stuff with Carbonite packs is a problem.
100% agree.
So, I guess we're calling it a night, and I bid you both adieu. I'm up for another couple hours because her River's medication. She needs one at 11, and yeah. So that's the schedule.
I gotta get some sleep.
And you need.
I love you, brother. I love you both.
Yep.
Thank
All
you
right.
for everything.
Good night, everybody.
Good night to all our fans, and remember, great leaders inspire greatness in others.
Stay moist.